broadcast live.
How they said a little black sandboat can never fit a crown. Mama said now that you got it, don't ever put it down.
Alright, we out here with Skyzoo, you know.
What's up, brother? What's going on? My man.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yo, firstly, you regularly out here, right?
Yeah.
This is like home to you.
Yeah,
What is it about the air that brings you here?
You know what it is? I feel like I'm with my people.
Yeah.
You know, as I should, because I'm literally here with my people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, this is where we all come from. This is where we all a part of.
Yeah.
Without this, there wouldn't be any us anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and I go all these other places all over the world so often. You know, every year I'm in Europe and, you know, Asia, Japan, China, whatever. You know, all over the world, Australia, different things like that.
Yeah.
I go to Europe 3-4 times a year.
Yeah.
So my thing is, if I can go to all these other places and perform my music, I gotta be able to come home and perform my music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So just as important as it is for me to go to all these other places overseas and even in the States, it's just as important, if not more so, than for me to be here, you know?
You know, it's interesting that's your answer. I always wondered, like, just generally, I don't know if you're into movies, but like, it's obviously it was a big thing in South Africa. I'm sure the world, you know, with Black Panther and everything else.
Absolutely.
In fact, in South Africa, Black Panther, I think, grossed just over 100 million, which is the first for any movie here in South Africa.
Wow.
So, what is the meaning of Black Panther to you Americans generally? Because, you know, South Africans have their own perspective, but what is it to you guys?
So for us in the States, obviously with black folk in the States, it was everything for us. You know, you had people going to the theaters dressed up as Black Panther. I actually went to a VIP screening because I'm real cool with the people at Marvel. And I'm working on doing some stuff with them in the near future. So I went to a VIP screening. I had on a Black Panther party jacket from the 60s. And like, it was like a holiday for us. You know what I mean? That whole 2 weeks was like one long day of a holiday of just appreciating being black and being looked at as a hero. You know, and the thing about it that was so important, so imperative for us, it was Marvel, which is one of the biggest conglomerates in the world as far as culture, pop culture, what's going on with kids, adults, the idea of superheroes and the fantasy being a reality, and, you know, from the 1940s onward, this is the biggest thing they've ever done. And it was black folk from Africa, you know, and the whole cast almost was black women, African accents, dialogue. It was amazing. So in the States, it was like a holiday. I mean, tell me if I've got my interpretation of why it's been successful in certain places. And I've also got my interpretation, like, from an American perspective, you know. And correct me if I'm wrong, because it's always in my head. I always also feel that from a certain extent, like in America, there's always this need to connect with Africa. You know, for people that have never been to Africa, Africa's always been said like it's this wonderland where we all come from. Right.
You know, and that movie, the essence of it is a fight for this wonderland where the cast is like this. That's the main thing. You know, he wants to move from America and go back and almost reclaim his space
and go back with his people.
Exactly. And in my conversation with a lot of Americans, I keep saying, when we're having this debate, I feel that the reason why Americans actually, like, especially black Americans, it resonated is because in their subconscious they hear about Africa, and there's almost like this thing that's missing. Is that a correct?
Yeah, I dig that. You know, I think when you get deeper into it, everything you're saying, I dig that. You know, I think on the surface in America, it was a pride thing. I think for us, it was pride. Like, we were so proud to see a hero on screen look like us, and it was royal. You know, the way they dressed, what they had. They were so technologically advanced. So far ahead from everyone else in the world in that movie. And it was this place that no one knew about, but they were so advanced they could heal you with the touch. You know, it was like, it was a pride thing, you know, and I think that's what made black folk back home be like, yes, word up. Because we are powerful, we are prideful, we are beautiful, we are glamorous, we are, you know, luxurious. Yes, absolutely. Because we see that with everyone else but ourselves, you know, so to see that on a 90-foot screen or whatever it is, absolutely.
I guess even in South Africa, I mean, I'm just saying, or just generally in the world, there's this need for black people to literally to be viewed as important. If through a movie it could make so much money. And I do think that it's mostly black people that went to that actually.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was like a 90% black outpouring. Absolutely.
We scarred, across the board. We scarred.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they say there's nothing more powerful than the black dollar, because the black dollar will fly out the pocket like that, especially in the States. You know, we as black folk in the States, I can't speak for out here, but we have the least but spend the most. You know what I mean? There's nothing more powerful back home than the black dollar. So when you do something that the black dollar is proud of, they go. And they spend it all. They'll spend their last on it, you know?
I mean, interestingly enough, it's the same thing here, you know? When you get into any boardroom with anybody that's trying to sell anything, first thing they go, we got to get into the black market. They got to get, you know,
black
you check
dollar.
the billboards, you know, they has to, if it's not really deep in the lushy suburbs, you know, there's always a black face. You know, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's a global thing now, I guess, you know? Touring with the music though, from mixtapes, freestyling, the rap game today is there's a focus on it, but it's not as broad as it was. In my time, when I say my time, like I'm from a place where I could listen to some from the West Coast, you know. I could listen to some from New York, you know. I could listen to some from the South, you know, and it was all important, right? The sound, the different sounds were important. That's kind of lost its thing now, right?
Yeah, it's all one sound, it seems. It seems whatever the popular sound is. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be like you said, you know, I'm from here, so my music sounds like this. You're from here, so your music sounds like that. And that's good. It gives us balance, and it gives us a way to connect and say, oh, that's what it's like on your side. This is what it's like on my side. And we can trade off that energy, and it's good, you know? Like, but now it's whatever works. You know, because it's about the dollar, it's about the bag. So whatever works. Oh, the sound is trapped right now, like, this is what it is. That's what we all doing, whether you're from here, we all doing that, you know. And if trap changed tomorrow and it becomes something else, then we all on that, you know. Like, that's where we are, because once corporate got involved with hip hop and was able to provide these dollars and these looks and this light, it became, we got to go get that. It became less about representing who and what you are, and more about how do I become larger than life by doing what already works. Well, what already works is what's hot right now. So let me do that, and that's what it is.
How important is the freestyle reputation in 2018 versus how it was like 10, 15 years ago?
I think when you look at what freestyle really is and what it originated as, it doesn't really matter as much anymore at all, which is sad to say. You know, back in the day, it was, can you literally freestyle off the top of your head? Nowadays, it's, can you kick a verse that's probably on your upcoming album? You know what I mean? Or can you kick a verse that you had saved that you've used on 3 other freestyles? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a different thing. And I appreciate great rhymes, regardless. But, you know, it's, for me, I literally go off the top. Just because that's the cloth that I'm cut from. You know what I mean? I literally, so if I go on a radio or TV, it's just whatever was happening, boom, right there. And I can't remember it because it was freestyle. You know what I mean?
We gonna see that just now.
Okay, let's see it.
I mean, but then how do you sharpen your skill? Because as a freestyler, at most times you got to be around other people who are actually out there, and you know, as much as you might be seen as you're not mainstream, but your career though is you got a pretty mainstream career though. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, your career is mainstream, so automatically you're never around like you don't get a lot of guys like you who've got a career that's mainstream. So you're probably around the guys who don't freestyle, who don't want to freestyle, who don't, you know, like who want to drink codeine. So how do you sharpen your skills?
That's a dope way to put it. I mean, for me, you know, it's great to be around other MCs, like-minded individuals, still sharpen steel and all those things. But at the same time, you know, I kind of freestyle a little bit every day to myself. You know, when I'm in the crib, you know, ironing clothes or doing dishes or whatever, I just freestyle to myself. It's not like I'm sitting here kicking a loud rhyme in an empty room talking to myself, but I'll freestyle to myself in my head, or I'll mumble, or if I hear a beat, if I'm driving, I'll freestyle a little bit, just a little bit. It's the equivalent of going to the gym a little bit, spending a half hour in the gym working out a little bit. It's the equivalent to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's dope. I mean, I need to take heat then.
I just mess around a little bit, boom, 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 and then, you know, that's enough for the day. You know? So when it's time, I'm sharp.
Were they coming up though when you were younger? And you were going against other kids that were battling. I mean, how many other people that you grew up around with who are actually still doing it? Still have contact?
Not many. You know what I mean? As a little kid, see, back then, you know, being a kid from the 80s and 90s, I was born in the early 80s. So being an 80s and 90s baby, it wasn't popular or normal for an 11 or 12-year-old to say, yo, I rap. I want to be a rapper. It was, everybody wanted to be a ball player. You know what I mean? Like, and I wanted to do that too as a kid. But as a little kid, 11, 12 years old, you know, I probably was one of a handful of kids in my neighborhood that was, yo, I rap. I want to rap. You know what I mean? This is what I do. Now it's common. Every little 10-year-old got a SoundCloud page because he sees he could become a star and be Lil Tay or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you know, all that nonsense. But, you know, it's like back then it was different. So a lot of kids who was doing it aren't really doing it now. As I got older, high school and college, you know, some of those guys are still doing it, whatever. But what I would do, I came from an era where I would rhyme with the older kids. You know, I was 12 rhyming with the 16-year-olds. I was a freshman rhyming with the seniors in high school, you know what I mean? And getting busy and cleaning up. I had a rep, yo, that kid Skyzoo, yo, he's nice. Money is nice when I was like 14, you know what I mean? So that was how all that came about.
So that you would say definitely, I mean, where we are in the game, it's when you talk about you ironing, you rapping, there's a difference between living it and lifestyling it. And I think the artist is lifestyling it, you know, and I think the rapper is living it. You know? It's an interesting analogy though, that like this thing that everybody was living to express themselves has converted to become a lifestyle. It's as good as a it's as good as like a material thing like Gucci now. This rap thing. You know?
100%. And it's sad. You know what I mean? Where it was and where it's at. But again, there's pros and cons. You know, we needed this to get to a certain place, to be respected, to be looked at in a certain light, to be taken seriously, and to be able to set ourselves up for things later on. If it wasn't for the strides that hip hop has taken in a corporate sense, you wouldn't have, you know, Duce and Ciroc, and you wouldn't have, you know, clothing brands and different things that rappers have been able to do, which is amazing. You wouldn't even have the idea of an artist like myself being independent. So I respect everything that the corporate side has done for hip hop. It's just about when they took it over and they became the dictators of it. They became the ones who say what makes sense and what doesn't, what's hot and what doesn't, well, and what isn't, you know, what matters and what doesn't. Then it's a different thing.
I heard like a long time ago, I used to be into, you know, there was Arrested Development and Dead Prayers, and I heard that there was actually a plan to get less music like that out and get more party type of music.
I believe it. Because the music, there's two things that's universal no matter where you go in the world. Music and math. Those things don't change. The ear hears what it hears no matter what, and one and one is two, no matter what. You know what I mean? So when you can control what people hear, you can control the music, you can control the narrative. You can control what matters. There's a reason why back in the 60s and 70s, when there was so much rebellious music, because of what was going on at the time, people were proud to stand up and fight. And I'm talking about in the States, you know, Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield, things like that, Gil Scott-Heron, of course. You know, it was like, okay, people were proud to stand up and fight. You know, now, not so much, because it's a different thing. That was the popular music. You could turn on the radio and hear Curtis Mayfield any time of day, talking about if there's a hell below, we're all gonna go. You know, train to Georgia, you know, all that type of stuff. So, you know, it's a different thing now,
Yeah.
you know?
I guess also though, talking about, you know, we always talk about this new generation of artists, new generation of consumer, but we never talk about like the machine,
Right.
the old machine that keeps on, that dictates what the consumer supposedly likes,
Yeah.
even if they don't like it, you know. I've got a saying, I say, you know, we eat what we see. So if I got a bunch of fast food chains like on my streets and that's all I see, that's all I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
But if I got crops of land and vegetables, I'll be
That's
like
what it
healthy
is.
as ever.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening with the consumer. The consumer is eating what they see.
They can only get what you give them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, you know, I look at like artists like who probably close to independent, like your artists like I'd say independent from what they say, like artists like Kendrick, you know, like J. Cole, who's just dropped his album now, and you got these pockets of consciousness, you know, or at least like an enlightenment in the music, which is not the typical, which does super well.
Yeah.
Which means that there are people who want to listen to this.
You just got to put it out there.
And it's the packaging and it's the positioning.
Yeah.
You watch a J. Cole video, it's far from being cheap though.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's almost like it's a marriage of being able to position yourself kind of market friendly.
Yeah.
But like there's a message within it.
Right. Because, you know, like the guys you just named, like Kendrick and Cole, you know, they're on major labels.
Yeah.
You know, Kendrick is on Interscope.
Yeah.
Cole is on, I think Sony, or I think Cole's on Universal.
Yeah.
You know, through Rock Nation.
Yeah.
You know, when you're on a major, the budget is open.
Yeah.
If you say, yo, I want to shoot a video for this much, I want to roll out a campaign for this much, I want to do such and such, I want to drop out the blue, but I want the physical ready the same day.
Yeah.
And I want to have 4 videos lined up in the chamber.
Yeah.
And I want to do a takeover on ESPN. That's all major label.
Yeah.
It's not independent. You know what I mean? Those are major label phone calls.
Yeah.
I say, all right, done.
Yeah.
And everything is lined up. So when the date drops, you pull the trigger and it goes. You know, but when you have that and that light put on something like what they're doing or whatever, or like what I'm doing, then all systems are go. You know?
So there's a time where you had 2 live crew, maybe you had 2 live crew, you had like one Public Enemy, one KRS One, and then I say in a group, 2 live crew in their own group, right?
Right.
But you had like a KRS One, you had a Public Enemy, you had a Poor Righteous Teachers, you know, you had a shit. You could like this. Okay, like let's say there's a larger group of the consciousness, right?
Yeah.
2 live crew is probably like is not as conscious, right?
Right.
Then you got the lyrics, you know, where you got your Kanes, you got your Rakims.
Yeah.
All these guys, literally, there was always this balance of message versus just fun and play, right? And it's almost like now there's this balance of fun and play is up here. And like messages, yeah. And they'll give you 2, right? Maybe we'll give you Cole, maybe we'll give you Kendrick. They'll give you 2 that'll go platinum, right? Or to go whatever, you know? And I guess, you know, it's ownership that'll bring the game back to where it needs to be, but we still need play though, you know? It's not like we don't need the play, you know what I mean?
No, for sure, you know, it's about balance.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the same things all day.
Yeah.
I don't want to just hear, you know, preaching, jewels all day. You know what I mean? Like there's a time and place for everything. There's a reason why, you know, some of the stuff like what Michael Jackson has done has lasted so long, because it made us feel good. You know, in the party and in the moment and let loose and gonna leave your 9 to 5 up on the shelf and just enjoy yourself. You need those moments. So this isn't to say, nah, no party rap or no feel good or no fun or no popping in the club. Everybody wants to celebrate and have fun. It's just time and place for everything. Everything is balanced. You know, it's good to, you know, get an order of pizza pie and bug out on a Friday night. But that doesn't mean you eat that every day, 3 meals a day.
For real.
You know what I mean? So that's the best way I can compare it. You know, it's dope to pig out on some fast food and bug out and you're on the run and it's good, whatever, dope. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. You do that. It means split it up. I'm gonna have home cooked this, I'm gonna have a little bit of that. I'm gonna do a juicer this, natural that. Oh, I'm gonna have, you know, some, you know, muchachos or whatever now. And then, you know what I mean? And you spread it around, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
So So what can people expect?
Oh man, I'm gonna be doing new records off my new album in celebration of us, and they can just you know, expect the raw, man. I mean, we could provide some raw if you're here for what it's for.
Let's provide some raw. Let's give them a little bit of something. I'm bad with this beatbox thing. I'm gonna just let you go in, you know. Okay, let me think about.
Can you pick that up?
Okay.
I can pick it up and roll while at the same time. I never kick the same line, never kick the same rhyme. This is off the top of the head, it's off mine, not yours. Never same minds. Lay lines like nobody you know got it. I'm in the pocket of the table when the flow rocking, flow dropping. No one that you know stop them. But everybody else that you know jock them. They all rock them. There's no sock them. There's no rocking, jocking, and no socking. There's no stopping. The flow got them. The flow rocket. It's up top. James Harden, CP3, and Ariza. We's the best at it. I get it like no one better. Best like Khaled. Better like nobody else rapping. I did it like nobody else yapping. The rest of them was on it. But me, I'm about that action. Me, I'm about kicking the raw and give it to you like Biggie, like kicking the door. Semi-auto as far as flows. Flow like nobody you know. It's still about bringing in the dough. I'm talking rand, talking yen, talking dollars, talking all of it. Euros and rubles. Nobody got it. I kick it there in the plural, a Pluto. Up top with mine, the flow so silly, so dumb. No stopping on the line, on the drum. It's S to the K to the Y. No, the sun is shining in my eye, cause nobody shine like sun, and nobody could shine like sun. I mean, you saw where I was going with it, where I was flowing with it. No one else could throw it with it. So how I'm going with it is like nothing else that ever matters. It's SK Live and Joe Berg. Get at us. It's all off the top of the dome. No written.
So let me accommodate you also.
Oh, okay, you gonna go?
Yeah.
All right, let me get the beat going.
I'm just an interviewer trying to get my shit together.
Let's do it.
Never mind me. Yeah. You know, sometimes I freestyle, sometimes I just chill, put it together like a tile. You know, I put the nail on a rapper like a file, but a nail like a cross, like a Jesus if it has to. A priest on the microphone, you just the beauty. I get on it, I touch them C's like I'm a pope. With the style like this, rappers cannot cope. Shit is dope, man, you best just hang yourself. See, hey, I make the whole world mourn like when Winnie passed away. I win anytime I get in. I get rappers mini like the vehicle. You couldn't battle me. Cause I'm closer than an icicle, colder than an icicle, spin it like a bicycle. Might just bite my tongue with this, cause sometimes, you know, my lungs just let the words come out. And you know, English is not my mother tongue, but shout out to my mother. I got a tongue that'll poison you like a snake. Break a rapper that comes through that try to take what I do. And you know, I eat rappers for steak, dinner, lunch, supper. Yo, you suffer, yeah, the kids will suffer if they try to touch a kid that was made by the culture. I do this for the F of it. That's why if a lot of rappers that step on me and try, it's just nice you just playing with it. I got the homie Skyzoo all the way from Brooklyn. So you cannot touch us when we come and spin with flows like this, man. I just make you grin. You can't touch it because it's a sin. And I'm out with that. Thanks for the beatbox.
You already. Good things. Word up, word up.
Just for the facts of it.
You know? Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yo, we out here. Got the homie Skyzoo. It's gonna be real.
Celebration of us. Peace and love.
Nah.
How they said a little black sandbook can never fit a crown. Mama said now that you got it, don't ever put it down.
Broadcast live